Hi everyone, I'm Karen from the Peace Discipline channel, where you can learn more about non-violent discipline. Today's video is part of a series on what not to do in discipline, and we will be looking at interrogating children, why this is not constructive, and what we can do instead. This video will be relevant to parents, as well as teachers, and anyone else who works with or cares for children. What is interrogation? It's when you ask a child questions with the intent and purpose of catching them out or finding fault with what they are saying or what they are doing. Here are some examples. Johnny, did you brush your teeth? Now actually you know that Johnny did not brush his teeth because he was playing while it was time to get ready and his toothbrush is still bone dry. But when you ask Johnny in that tone of voice, Johnny, did you brush your teeth? As if you're a little bit cross already and could get more cross depending on his answer, Johnny's instinct to avoid danger kicks in and he says, yes. This is infuriating to you because you know he's lying. And so you ask Johnny with even more anger in your voice, Johnny, are you telling me the truth? Johnny can see that this is going in a bad direction and so he answers, yes. Are you sure, Johnny? You know it's wrong to lie. Poor Johnny is digging himself deeper and deeper into a hole here, and the parent is getting more and more angry. What the parent doesn't realize, though, is that they are playing a significant role in what is happening in this scenario. Teachers can also be guilty of interrogation, asking children questions they already know the answers to in order to show up their faults, often in front of the rest of the class. How long have you had this project? And how many times did I tell you to get down to it so that you could hand it in on time? And what did you tell me? Speak up, Johnny. What did you tell me? You said, yes, miss, I'm working on my project. Right? And now where is your project, Johnny? Where is your project? Don't lie, Johnny, it's not at home. I've already called your parents and they said you haven't done a stitch of work on it. Some adults can get really menacing when they interrogate a child. Johnny, where's your new toy? I don't know. Did you lose it? No. Then where is it? I think it's in my room. Go get it, Johnny. I want to see it. Maybe somebody took it. Don't lie to me, Johnny. You know where it is. I don't know. Yes, you do. You do know because you hid it under your bed after you broke it. You knew that toy was expensive and you didn't look after it, and now you're going to find out what happens to children who don't look after their toys. Scary. What is the problem with interrogation? Let's start with how it feels. Sometimes in workshops with parents or teachers, I ask them to think back on an experience they've had of being on the receiving end of this kind of interrogation as a child or even as an adult, and to share how that felt for them. I hear things like, my brain turned to mush. I couldn't think. I felt like nothing I could say would be good enough. I felt guilty even if I hadn't actually done the thing that I was suspected of. I felt like I was bad. I felt unsafe, like any moment I could be exposed. I felt frightened, or I felt scared. With an interrogation, the adult is playing detective. It's as if they're making a criminal case, fishing for that confession, a confession that the child feels very unsafe to give because of how angry the adult seems when they even just suspect what the child has done. The problem with interrogation is that the questions are actually traps. They make the child feel unsafe. And when you make a child feel unsafe, you can provoke defensive lies. I've made videos before about how sensitive we are as humans to any signal from our environment that we might not be safe. It's like all day, every day, even when we're busy with other things, our brains are busy monitoring, asking one important question in the background. Am I safe? Am I safe? Am I still safe? And if we pick up a signal from our environment that we might be in danger, we are wired to pull our attention out of everything else and get safe by any means necessary. It's very common for people to lie in situations where they don't feel safe, and interrogating a child is very likely to provoke exactly that response. So what can we do instead of interrogating children? The most obvious answer is, don't interrogate them. Dr. Haim Junot gives us a good rule to follow. If you already know the answer, don't ask the child the question. For example, if the teacher already told you that your child failed the maths test, don't ask the child, "So how did you do in your maths test?" Rather say, "So your teacher says you didn't pass the maths test." In other words, call it as you see it. Instead of, "Johnny, did you brush your teeth?" say, "Johnny, you didn't brush your teeth yet. Come and brush them now." Instead of, "When is this project due?" say, "I see you missed the deadline to hand in this project." Instead of, "Where's that new toy I bought you?" say something like, "I see your new toy is broken." Call it as you see it. But what if you need to find out more? Sometimes we need to ask some questions to find out what happened. How do we do this without interrogating? My next suggestion, after calling it as you see it, is to ask some non-threatening, open-ended questions. With open-ended questions, there's not a single yes or no, or right or wrong answer. Rather, open-ended questions help a child to tell their story. So you might say, "I see your toy is broken," followed by, "What happened?" And then listen calmly to what the child has to say. It's very important here to remember that you are asking the child about a situation in which they feel vulnerable, and so you have to be careful how you ask the questions. The child needs to feel safe, so stay calm, really calm, not fake, "I'm holding back my anger till you've said more and incriminated yourself" kind of calm. Children can sense the difference. Aside from your calm and patient listening, the child may need some reassurance. Part of active listening is to reflect back what the child is saying, to show empathy, and to check that you understand their point of view. For example, after listening a little, you might say, "So you thought that would be a fun way to play with the toy. You didn't expect it to break. So when it broke, you got a big fright and you didn't know what to do." Or, "So you were really upset, but you were also worried that we might be cross with you, and so you didn't tell us about it." It can be a great relief for children to realize that you understand how they feel. You may also need to reassure the child explicitly, saying things like, "I'm not cross with you," or "I feel sad that we weren't able to help you when you felt upset because we didn't know what happened," or "We all make mistakes, and that's fine because we can learn a lot from our mistakes." Of course, this reassurance will work better if you genuinely are not angry and really are just trying to support and guide them. It's not going to work to say, "I'm not angry," when your voice and your body language are clearly conveying to the child that you are. What if the child has done something wrong? Does all this understanding and reassurance mean that we let them get away with that? No. Stopping interrogating does not mean that we're going to ignore inappropriate behavior. Children need to feel safe with us, but we still need to address problem behavior and support and guide the child to do better in future. So how do we do this? Once you have called it as you see it, and ask the child about it in a calm way, and listen to them, then it's fine to tell them what you would like them to do in future if the same kind of situation were to come up. Here you can use the words, "Next time I would like you to," and then tell them what you would like them to do instead. Any human can be sensitive to correction, and so I sometimes found it useful to say something like, "I know you didn't know what would be expected in this situation, but next time I would like you to," and then give the guidance. If the child has done something which has done damage to property or inconvenienced or hurt another person, it would then be appropriate to guide them into some kind of restorative action. Examples of restorative action would be replacing or fixing something that is broken or paying towards this, or telling an affected party what happened and apologizing, or making amends by doing something nice or helpful for the person. Something very important though, in using any of these tools, treat the child as though they are good. So often adults treat children with suspicion, as though they are bad, as though they are up to something and need to be caught out and exposed and taught a lesson. If the child has done something wrong or fallen short in some way, the emphasis should not be on catching and shaming and punishing them for what they did. Rather, the emphasis should be on guiding them and supporting them to put right and to do better in future. There's a huge difference between these two approaches in terms of how safe the child feels. With interrogation, the adult tries to catch them out, to prove them wrong, and to expose them for what they've done. This is often followed by punishment, such as beating them. With non-violent discipline, we act as a safe place for the child, so they can turn to us when things don't go well, admit their mistakes, and be open to our guidance. So for best results in discipline, children need to feel safe with us emotionally as well as physically. They'll respond much better to our guidance if we treat them as if they are good. So let's stop this unconstructive practice of interrogating children and use more effective tools instead. That's all for now. I'll be back soon with more in this series on what not to do in discipline and more nonviolent tools that we can use instead. Press like if you found this video helpful and don't forget to subscribe. If you would like more information on nonviolent tools, you can visit the Peace Discipline website at peacediscipline.com. On the website, you will find a free nonviolent toolkit and published research on nonviolent discipline options. You'll also find information on how to book a coaching session if you need one, and a sign-up form if you would like to join the Peace Discipline mailing list, which is how I let people know when I'm running workshops or talks. If you're on the mailing list, I also send you all the new videos. Resources such as the toolkits and these videos are free in order to promote safer environments for children, so please share them with others who might find them helpful. Thanks for watching.